Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into something that could significantly impact your family's finances. Vice President Kamala Harris's new proposal. This plan could bring major changes to the child tax credit, introduce new housing tax incentives, and potentially lower prices on essentials like groceries and prescription drugs for families across the country. You might be familiar with the child tax credit, especially after its expansion during the pandemic, which provided much-needed relief to millions of families. But what you may not know is that Vice President Harris has proposed taking this even further. Imagine receiving up to $6,000 in tax relief during your child's first year, a time when expenses seem to pile up endlessly. This could be a game changer for many families. Before we move forward, please click the like button if you find this video helpful and subscribe to this channel to stay informed about essential updates. This isn't a one-size-fits-all proposal. It's specifically designed to help middle and low-income families, those who often feel the financial strain the most. What's particularly exciting is that this proposal isn't just a continuation of what we saw during the pandemic. It's an evolution, a step forward in ensuring families have what they need when they need it the most. So, how does this expanded child tax credit work? The proposal suggests increasing the tax credit from the previous $3,600 per child to as much as $6,000 in relief for the first year of your child's life. This increase is a direct response to the reality that the first year of parenting is often the most expensive, with costs coming from all directions. Not just diapers and formula, but also childcare, medical expenses, and all those unexpected little things that add up over time. But that's not all. Let's talk about something else that's really important: housing. If you've been paying any attention to the housing market lately, you've probably noticed that prices are, kind of through the roof. Whether you're renting or looking to buy your first home, it feels like there are fewer and fewer options that don't completely drain your savings. But here's where Vice President Harris's proposal really shines. She's calling for the construction of 3 million new housing units over the next 4 years. That's a big number, and it's targeted specifically at creating more affordable housing options. The idea is to not only increase the supply of homes, but also to make sure these homes are within reach for people who might otherwise struggle to get into the housing market. This could be a game changer for first-time buyers, especially those who are finding it difficult to save up for a down payment while also paying rent. How does this actually work? The proposal includes new tax incentives aimed at encouraging builders to construct what we often call starter homes, smaller, less expensive homes designed to be affordable for first-time buyers. By lowering the tax liability for builders, it becomes more financially attractive for them to build these kinds of homes, which in turn increases the supply of affordable housing on the market. But it doesn't stop there. The proposal also includes a plan to help renters transition into homeownership. If you've been renting and paying on time for the last 2 years, you might qualify for up to $25,000 in down payment assistance when you decide to buy your first home. This could be the difference between continuing to rent and finally owning your own home. It's designed to help people who are already showing they're financially responsible by paying their rent on time, but who might still struggle to save enough for a down payment because of high rent and other expenses. Now, what does all this mean for you and your family? Well, it's not just about tax credits and housing. Vice President Harris is also tackling something that's been on everyone's mind lately: rising prices. It seems like everything is getting more expensive these days, from groceries to prescription drugs, and it's putting a real strain on family budgets. That's why the plan includes measures to tackle what some are calling corporate price gouging, when companies raise prices beyond what's necessary to cover costs just to increase their profits. This is especially frustrating when it happens with things that people need every day, like food and medicine. The proposal would set up new regulations to prevent this kind of price gouging, particularly in the grocery and pharmaceutical industries. This could lead to lower costs at the checkout line and even at the pharmacy, making life a little bit easier and more affordable, especially for those who are already stretched thin. Of course, you might be wondering, how likely is it to actually happen? Well, like any big policy change, it'll need to pass through Congress, and there might be some debate along the way. There are always challenges when it comes to getting new legislation passed, especially when it involves changes to the tax code or introducing new regulations. But it's encouraging to see a clear focus on the needs of families, and making sure that support is available where it's needed most. It's helpful to note that these proposals will require approval from Congress before they can become law. This means that the outcome will depend a lot on what happens in the upcoming elections and which party controls the House and Senate. It's a reminder of how much our votes can impact the kinds of policies that get passed and how those policies affect our everyday lives. So, what's next for you? If these proposals catch your interest, it might be a good idea to stay informed and even get involved in the conversation. Whether that's by reaching out to your representatives, joining a community discussion, or just staying up to date with what's happening in the news, every little bit helps. And if this does become a reality, it could mean some significant changes for your financial situation. One thing to keep in mind is that these kinds of proposals don't just happen overnight. It's a process, and it's one that involves a lot of negotiation and debate. But the fact that these ideas are being put forward is a positive sign that there's a focus on helping families who are struggling with the rising cost of living. It's about making sure that everyone has a fair shot at financial stability and that the system works for all of us, not just for a select few. In the meantime, if you're a parent or planning to become one soon, it might be worth looking into how the current child tax credit works and what changes might be on the horizon. However, Harris's proposal to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 will come with a heftier price tag. Estimates by the Tax Foundation hold that such an expansion could cost $1.6 trillion over 10 years on a conventional basis, an already sizable budget challenge facing lawmakers. Harris remains committed to her plan, which she believes is crucial for supporting American families. The campaign's fact sheet on her economic plan also includes calls for higher taxes on wealthy Americans and large corporations to fund these initiatives. Even if the proposed expansion doesn't happen right away, understanding the benefits that are already available could help you make the most of what's out there. If you're renting and thinking about buying a home, now might be a good time to start saving and planning for that possibility. The proposed down payment assistance could be a huge help, but it's always a good idea to be as prepared as possible. This might mean creating a budget, cutting back on unnecessary expenses, or even looking into first-time homebuyer programs that can offer additional support. And when it comes to rising prices, one of the best things you can do is stay informed and be a smart shopper. This might mean comparing prices, using coupons, or buying in bulk when it makes sense. It's also worth keeping an eye on any changes in regulations that could impact prices so you're not caught off guard by unexpected increases. Well, that's a lot of details. If you found these details helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let's chat about it. And of course, make sure you click the like button if you find this video insightful and subscribe for more.